I'm Maria from Older, Fitter, Stronger. I'm a 50+ specialist personal trainer and I'm also in my 50s. Come with me and have a look at this weights focused training session. One of the most important things to remember before you start lifting weights is that you do an appropriate warm up. You will find one in my video section. I have done a full body mobility warm up. Try that before you start lifting. Now, if you're going to start with the shoulders, which I'm going to do, you're never going to go straight in with a heavy weight. The shoulder is a small joint which is quite injury prone. Most people have tight neck muscles and very tight upper trap muscles here, which can influence the weight that you use as well. So I've just got a 1 kilo here. You could actually use a bottle of water or a bottle filled with sand at home. So we're going to have nice soft knees, feet hip width apart, pelvic positioning correct. So we're not arching the back, we're not slouching. We're somewhere in the middle. You also want to have a nice relaxed rib cage because that's going to help the shoulder to come into a better position. So we breathe in, and then as you breathe out, you soften the ribs down. Hopefully you can see that I'm softening my rib cage down a little, which is lengthening the muscles of my back. So you're going to do all of that first before you start lifting. Soft knees, pelvis in a neutral position, rib cage relaxed. Fabulous. Okay, so now we're going to take the weight out to the side and we're going to work the deltoid muscles on the top of your shoulder. I'm going to have a soft elbow because then that is less of a long lever. There's a little bit less strain on the shoulder, and I'm just going to lift and then lower slowly. On the way down, you go a little bit more slowly because that forces the muscle to work hard. We call that the eccentric phase. And it just makes the muscle work a little bit harder rather than doing the movement really quickly. So you might come up for 2 and down for 3 or 4. Ideally, you want to work up to doing 3 sets of between 10 and 15 repetitions if you're using a light weight to start off with. And obviously you need to do the other side. So as you come up, you're bringing it just to shoulder height, and then slowly down, keeping this nice positioning, bent knees, neutral pelvis, rib cage relaxed, because it all helps the muscle to work efficiently and effectively. So that's our exercise number 1, a delt raise with a dumbbell. Our next upper body exercise is going to be a press. So we're just going to have the weight at the shoulder and push it up. Same rules apply, soft knees, neutral pelvis, rib cage relaxed. The other thing that's important when you're lifting weights is breathing. So breathing in, breathing out. You always want to breathe out on the bit that's hard. So I would say that the bit pushing up is a little bit more challenging. So that's when we want to breathe out. Assess how many you can do comfortably, not too comfortably. So if I were doing 10, by the time I get to say rep 6, I'd want to find it a little bit challenging so that the last 3 or 4 reps were a bit more of a challenge, but not a strain into the body. If I can do 15 or 20 of these really easily, then I probably want to switch to a slightly heavier weight. So our next exercise is a bicep curl. Again, soft knees, neutral pelvis, rib cage relaxed, elbow tucked into the body, and we're just lifting the way up and then more slowly on the down because that was working the muscle harder in its eccentric phase. Lovely, good. So we don't want to be lifting the shoulder up to do it, and the elbow needs to stay still. And again, think about how easy or hard you find it. The biceps are a little bit stronger generally than the shoulder, so you could go a little heavier when you're doing your bicep curls. And then you do a set, have a little rest between each set, maybe 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds, and then you could do your second set, and then you can work up to doing 3 sets. So we're going to come into a tricep extension, and you are welcome to hold on when you do this exercise. Stagger the feet, hip width apart, leaning slightly forward at an angle, elbow tucked into the side of the body. Wrist is straight, rather than being at an angle. And you're going to bring the weight forward and then press it back into a nice straight arm. And it's at that point that you should feel it at the back of the upper arm, the tricep. Same rules apply. Find the weight that's appropriate. Probably do 10 reps to start with. Most people's triceps are fairly weak at the first, and then you work up to your 3 sets of 10 or 15 of those. So I'm coming into a lower body exercise. Obviously your lower body is stronger than your upper body on the whole, so we'd use a heavier weight. These are just a 2.5, but you will gauge what weight you would start on. Okay, so we're going to come into a split squat. Feet need to be hip width apart or possibly slightly wider. Take a leg back, come onto your tiptoes. Little tuck under at the pelvis if your back is arching like so that you're able to feel your bum muscles on the way up. And then we're going to hold the weights in each hand, drop down and squeeze up using the buttock muscles and the leg muscles. So drop down, squeeze up. Now things to remember with this are, obviously you've got some stability issues here. You are a little bit unstable because you're on your tiptoes. So do make sure that you have the necessary stability to do this exercise. And if not, continue to do it without weights until you are. So drop and squeeze. We're kind of going down and up rather than forward and back. So down and up, down and up. And this is quite a challenging exercise, so you don't have to go down too far. You could just go down a couple of inches and come back up. It's only going down further if you're a little bit stronger. So our last exercise is going to be a side lunge, which is going to work the side of the hips. You could have a weight in each hand for this, or you could pick a slightly heavier weight and hold it in the middle, whichever you are more comfortable with. Just keep the shoulders nice and relaxed rather than up here. So we're going to take a step out to the side, bum goes back, knee bends, and then to come back to your starting point, you push off the foot, push from the bum cheek and step back. Step to the side, bum goes back, and then push from the foot, get the bottom muscles to help push you back. That just takes a little thinking about. So you're going to stick the bottom out behind you, and then on the way back up, you push into the foot firmly, and it's the hip muscles that bring you back. Other side, push, hip muscles bring you back. And again, you could do 10 on each side, 15 on each side, but just do less if that's too much for you to start with. And always pick an appropriate weight. So that's all we're going to do for today. We've got some upper body, you've got some lower body. It's a really good place to start. I hope you found this video useful. And if you did, feel free to subscribe and click the bell for notifications. Hope to see you soon. Bye.